Hi, my name is Sarvesh and you are watching D365 Notes. So today, the agenda of this video is to cover about the allocation journals available in D365 Finance and Operation. So let's get started. What is an allocation journal? So an allocation journal in D365 Finance is used to distribute amounts such as expense or revenue. Okay. For example, whenever you have expenses that need to be allocated on some methods, for example, equally or on percentage basis or on fixed value basis, so you can use the allocation journal to maintain the data accurately. Second point is across multiple general ledger account, this process ensure that shared cost and income are distributed fairly and accurately. So this allocation journal have predefined method using which you can define your allocation rules as per your requirement on percentage basis, and many other ways are also there. Allocate your amount according to predefined rules. So last point is this. So means the summary of this is you can use the allocation journal to allocate your amount on different financial dimensions. For example, advertising expenses, okay, of 10,000 is incurred in a business unit 01. Okay. Now at the end of month, everyone is making sale, doing their sale, but the advertising expense incurred by the whole organization, not only with the 01. So we have to distribute that amount as per their predefined percentage. So we can allocate that amount using allocation journal. So we will see in the system component of allocation journal. So here we have allocation rule where we can define how amount are distributed. Now source, specify origin of allocation. Okay. Destination, where should it will be allocated, and offset account, like how entries are created. You can define the offset for the your allocation. So next slide, what allocation methods. So it is having fixed percentage. You can define the fixed percentage on your values. So we will cover these in a different videos, because if I am creating a single video, it will become very large and you will not able to grab everything in one video. So fixed percentage means you will define a percentage out of 100, how much will be allocated to a specific main account or set of financial dimension and main account. Now fixed amount, the fixed amount will be allocated to financial dimension and main account sets. Okay. Now basis means whatever balance is there on source, that will be allocated on the balances of, for example, any department made a sale of 10,000 and different made a sale of 12,000, and another department also made a sale of for example 20,000. So 20, 12 and 10, system will consider that and allocate it, that expense according to their sales. So you have to keep in mind this kind of thing is available, and you can distribute amount equally. If you have that such provision, you can distribute the amount equally among the your different financial dimension. Use cases of allocation: overhead cost distribution, for example rent and utility, and uh, advertising expenses. You can use this allocation journal. Revenue allocation, if you have revenue, if you want to uh, distribute that revenue on shared basis, you can use that. Expense amortization means insurance premium and kind of thing, you can allocate on different departments and different business unit. Intercompany transaction also you can use for your subsidiary companies. So let's see in the system. I hope you understand this. Now let's see in the system. So we are on the D365 system. First, we will define the predefined requirements, and in next video we will be covering about the process part. So this in this video I will set up percentage allocation rules. So let's see how to do it. So first thing first is you have to define the allocation journal name. So for defining allocation journal name, you have to go to General Ledger, Journal Setup, and Journal Names. Click on New button and define your name. Okay, okay. Post which you can define your type. So it will be allocation. Journal type will be allocation. Now you have to define your voucher series. So let me define something. So this is how you can create a journal name. Okay. Now I have already created the journal name. So I will delete this. So if you see here, this is my journal name available. Now, after defining journal name, you have to define the allocation rules. So, for defining allocation rules, you have to go to ledger allocation rules. Okay. So for going to ledger allocation rule, you have to go to general ledger allocation and ledger allocation rules. System will redirect you over here. Okay. Now let's create a new allocation rule. Click on new button and define the rule A01, and my description will be expenses. Click on save button. If you have any effective date or expiry date, you can give it, but this is not mandatory setup. Okay. So if you have any effective date, system will consider this allocation rule effective from that specific date and time, and expiry date also it will be same. So you can use this if you have any use cases. So make this active, save. So after this setup, you have to go to general. Now in general, you will see these setups are previously on the overview tab we have seen. So these are the setup which are new. Okay. So intercompany rules we will not use as of now. We will cover in the upcoming videos. So stay tuned for that. Now we will decide the allocation method. So since we are having fixed percentage method, so we will cover in this video and next video. So I will cover about the basis, fixed asset, and fixed weight and equally. Okay, so I will cover about these. Now you have to select the journal name which you have created in the beginning. Okay, now after this allocation journal name, you will see the source, and under the data source there are two fields, which is fixed value and ledger. So fixed value means you can define a fixed value over here, and ledger means you can define a source of ledger where you want to do this activity. Okay. Now fixed value we will cover in upcoming videos. So for the time being, we will cover a simple scenario with ledger. Mathematical operation, as of now, we will put this as a none, but in the upcoming videos, we will cover this. Okay. Now date interval code. Since we are doing monthly, we can define here current month. So if you don't have this defined in the your system, you can define. So you can take a look into it and date interval, right click and view details, and you can define as per your requirement for monthly basis. So I have defined like this. You can also define. Let me go back. Now after this save, and after clicking on date interval code, you have to define your source. Wait, before that you have to define your offset. Here the offset will be only the one who will be validating your entries. So make sure you have defined the offset. So here two options are there, source and user specified. So we will cover source in upcoming videos. For the time being, we will cover about the offset account. So we will select the account. So in our case, it is advertising expenses, and our business unit is 1. So I will not define the cost center and all things. Okay, now offset dimension should be also the user specified thing only. So here we can define the offset dimension from. Okay, now we can define the source. So for defining source, you have to save this and click on source. Click on new button. Okay, now you have to define your main account, source main account, which is advertising expenses. Now click on save, click on new button and define your financial dimension. So here you can select the financial dimension, business unit, cost center and all the things, but I will be selecting only business unit. You can define multiple combination of financial dimension here. You can add one more financial dimension, and like that you can define your all the financial dimension as per your requirement. Now save, and I will go to destination. So destination is the place where we will define our percentage and where the amount should be allocated. Okay, so let's see. Here click on new button. Here you have to define your percentage. So fixed percentage I will define, for example, 40% to my one of the account. So let me define the advertising expenses, that same account, and business unit will be 2. Okay, now save. So here percentage in total is 40 currently. Now let's define 30%. Sorry, let's define 30% on the second, sorry, third dimension. Okay, so here fixed percentage I will be making 30%, and my total my account will be the same, advertising expenses, and I will be allocating this to this one. Okay, save. Now I will add one more account. So 30 plus 40, 70. The percentage total is 70. I have to define 30 on one of more business unit. Okay, so business unit. So okay, remaining 30 I will define over here. So the total percentage is 100%. Okay, so this is set apart of the ledger allocation or allocation journal in D365. Since this video become very long, I will create a process part in second video. So stay tuned for that. If you have any doubt or query regarding this, please let me know in the comment. So that's it for today. I will see you in the next video. Till that time, tada, bye bye. See you in the next one.